I wanted to do a full page real quick. This is Mel, and this is the form that we worked on. So the first thing you're going to want to do is fill out the date here that you're writing the complaint, and prepare well, we'll go through this. We'll come back and round back to where we send it after we're finished with the form again, but you need to send an email copy and to Tanya May at the assistant superintendent at OSPI. And then you also need to send one to the district. And the address for doing so is right here. So those are the two addresses you're going to want to, the two service of the document that you're going to want to complete in order for it to be a
valid
an investigatable complaint.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to say you don't have to send a hard copy and an email. You can do just one or the other, but the complaint must be signed or it will not be accepted. And it
has to go to both the district and OSPI. Exactly. Okay, so you're going to put down here in section 1. You, of course, just add in your student's name and the student's disability and condition, the grade of your student, the name of the school that they attend. Race and ethnicity is optional, as is gender. So you do not have to provide that information if you don't want to. Section 2 is going to be, you need to mark if you are the parent or the guardian of the student here with an X, and then include your name and your email, your street address, primary language, and race, ethnicity, and gender, again, are optional. So you do ask for your phone number, and this is the signature that we're talking about, that you're going to either want to print it and sign it hard copy, or you can, I don't know if you can do, did we ever, we can't,
yes.
you can
yes.
select a font that is like a handwritten font and sign it like that. Not in the same font that the document is in.
This is Yana. I've been told that is acceptable as long as it looks like signature. Nobody can actually verify your signature anyways.
Okay. And then date again here at the bottom of section 2. So moving on to section 3, this covers a lot of what Pam just covered with the timeline. And it just goes through your signature and the timelines of when you can file from the actual offense that you're reporting. And it gives you a little more information about your privacy rights and all kinds of stuff here. And then it gives you some links to the public records request and some information for the Attorney General for obtaining records if you wanted to do that and include that in your complaint, any of that information. Okay, so this form is for staffing shortages. That's what the complaint is actually kind of built around, for you to be able to quickly add your information in. I don't know about quickly. It does take it takes being organized and having it already in hands and everything, but what we won't do for our kids. So I'm sure that that will be a concession we make. So the first step is to state that what you believe the alleged violation is, and you don't need to know the exact law, but you do need to explain what you believe the school has done wrong in the first box. And we filled kind of like an overall, we've already filled that with something that if it fits your situation, go ahead and keep it. If you have a different thing going on, you can just select it and type in whatever you'd like there.
This is Yana. If you are not quite sure what this violation would be, you can also call a special education department at OSPI. They have a parent liaison, and I'm going to post contact information in the chat, and you can get help sorting through that. Or you can always reach out to us to kind of ask what, share what you're experiencing if you'd like. But the best person to reach out to is probably at the OSPI or also Office of Educational Ombuds. I'm going to share those resources in the chat.
Okay, thanks. Let me unmute that, and I just realized my video wasn't on. I'm gonna put that on so you guys can see me. Okay. So the next section is section B. It's the facts about your allegation. These check marks are all marked as relevant. So if they are not, just click on them and it goes away, and or just delete that whole line out if it's not something that you are reporting on. But if you are, we've also placed like what type of information would be relevant and good for making your point and illustrating your allegations. So this one is for identifying my student as eligible to receive a district initiated one-on-one instructional assistant or para-educator, but failing to hire staff for this position. So I've been told myself, we just don't have the staff to do this service that your child needs. We're just, so that is not okay. So you could go ahead and place, if you have any information about the dates of meetings or conversations where you had discussed services not being denied because of a lack of staffing. You can include emails or meeting minutes. Hopefully it's not in the IEP, but if it is in the IEP, you can provide that as evidence. The next one is for not informing IEP team of changes to the student staffing and supports in the instance of a daily substitute or coverage, long-term coverage by a non-certified special education teacher. So that's a little bit complicated. Basically, what this is saying is that you're not being told as a caregiver that your student is receiving services by somebody that is not certified to do the SDI, the specially designed instruction, or yeah, basically any kind of service that they're non-certified to do. So that would be a loss of benefit or a change in the programming without a prior written notice. Is that correct, Yana? Without giving you a prior written notice of a change.
This is Yana, and that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here
I will add just that there can't be change to your programming without prior notification, which is what the prior written notice does, what you will hear as PNW often referred to as. Yeah,
it doesn't mean Pacific Northwest, which I thought for some time.
Because it's prior written. Right. PWN. I'm sorry. I just
no, I thought that because we share the same kind of mind, don't we? So this is good information for this to prove this is happening would be dates where substitute teachers were used in positions not filled, or information in the IEP meeting that the team information if IEP meetings were held and the team did not discuss how the students' needs will be met during staff shortages. So that's interesting. To add that in there too. And if staff denied the extended school year services to the student simply based on the levels of staffing is another point you want to make. We're almost done. I think there's only two more here. The next one is for providing insufficient progress monitoring. This is something I hear about a lot, and supervision of specially designed instruction due to vacancy or coverage by non-certified special education staff. So a lot like the one before, but here we're talking about, showing that the interventions that they're doing is working, and if they're not, to change them so that you can get the outcomes that are in the goals. If you're not seeing that, or if you're not getting the right progress monitoring, you're not going to be able to chalk out where your child is gaining or losing their knowledge or their ability to function.
This
in
is
the
Yana.
class.
Also, what sometimes happens, you have to kind of go back to your child's IEP and look at the matrix, the service matrix that shows which staff is the team, the IEP team decided to that should
Take
be
the data and report the data.
should be delivering the instruction. And also then you look at the goals to see what data points are required for progress monitoring. So if you just have a comment on, oh, your child's doing great, he's getting started, they started quickly, as opposed to when the goal calls on he will get started within 1 minute of a prompt, which is a real example from my child's IEP, then quickly is not really a accurate data point, right? So it is hard to tell whether he's making progress or not making progress. So if there's challenges with progress monitoring, that's also part of it. And that becomes an issue when staff is not appropriately qualified to progress monitor.
Thank you, Yana. Okay, this is Mel. And the next section is my students did not receive the instruction as designed by the IEP team. I don't have my readers on. Due to staff shortages, this shortages cause case managers to serve additional students and cause substitutes to provide services without appropriate supervision. This is another thing that we're hearing about happening. This happens in my son's school a lot, unfortunately. So I will probably be speaking to them about that. And let me see. So information, which one was I on here?
I'm just going to interrupt. Speaking about that, but always follow up with an email to document the challenges.
That's a good trick. Yes, that works well. I found some teachers, or it's actually like a little tricky how they'll want to talk to you about certain things and only will not type about certain things. So rounding back with them in writing is definitely a way to cover your tracks and make sure if it's not documented, it didn't happen, is what I'm in the medical field. So that's what we say. And it applies in education as well, for sure. So the next one is for the documents that support your allegations. And that here you can attach as additional pages, or you can, well, it's kind of, you just have to, what did we decide on this? Samples of work assignments. Yeah.
So, this is Yana. So anything that's listed or anything you think is important to your to the investigator to see, you can attach, but they don't rely solely on what you provide, including the information. They are they are going to request information and records from the district. So
right. You can always take a picture of something with your phone and then save it as a JPEG and attach it to the document. If you don't have a scanner, or if you're wondering how to get documentation that you want in that's not in digital form, that's how I would do it. Take a picture and attach it on. Okay, so here comes the what would you like to happen in the perfect world? Well, of course, we'd like our kids to get the services that they deserve, because they deserve them. But here we have this is something that we decided that could be kept as is, Yana, as
so this is, of course, you're going to read what is in there and just kind of apply it. And you can be pretty specific if you'd like. You can say, my child missed social group for 6 months, and therefore I'm requesting a week of summer camp, or social group, for so many hours that they missed. There is going to be one thing to note is that compensatory education is not always awarded 1-to-1 minute. What that means is that depending on the how the services were delivered, let's say they were supposed to be delivered according to the IEP one-on-one, then you're most likely to get 1 minute per 1 minute. But if they were delivered in a group, you will your child will receive services. If OSPI investigator determines so, then you will receive only 25%, so quarter of the services missed. Just do not get your heart broken, just so you're prepared.
So that's our form. We're sticking to it. And it will be available. This is Mel, and it will be available on our website on the resources tab under handouts and downloads section. And it's in the chat as well. There's a link to the fillable one, the